This has been an absolutely incredible experience. I didn't expect to learn so much. We had the opportunity to meet with people who've really experienced homelessness, hear their stories as to how that eventuated, what tragedies in their life had occurred, families who were saved from homelessness thanks to the support of Vinnies. The work that they do is actually so much more far-reaching than I really knew.
More than 100,000 people in Australia experiencing homelessness. Spending one night in the cold was very humbling. We heard from individuals and families who have experienced homelessness through no fault of their own. They shared their stories, and what inspired me the most was that each and everyone was resilient.
Good morning. Just a quick update after last night. What a humbling experience. Going through a night sleeping rough, and I suppose a couple of things I learned from last night. The stories that were shared with us, the hardship of some of the stories was really heartbreaking. One thing that stood by me is where somebody will not put on their heating or their gas in the winter just to save money. That's just something that I've not considered before. And the stories of families that's struggling and how they're trying to keep together, and then out of desperation how they reach out to Vinnies, and how Vinnies are able to then help them walk a path with them for years to come.
Good morning, everyone. It's the morning after the sleep out, and I have to say, last night was pretty tough. I was surprised to learn that there's a strong correlation between being a CEO and snoring, so I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. There were a few tractors out there, and it was very cold and damp, but it is only one night. And I was very surprised and amazed to learn that about 100,000 people across Australia are homeless every night. It's a lot more than you think. And they don't get to go back to a warm bed like I do tonight. They experience this day in and day out, which is why working with organisations like Vinnies is so important. We do have opportunities to change this and make a difference.
I have to say it's been a really remarkable evening and a remarkable experience. And what I want to share with you is what we learned this year. Vinnies for the CEO Sleepout really focused on helping us understand all the prevention work they do. So when we think of homelessness and poverty, we often think of people who are on the streets and have really become homeless. And what we learned last night is Vinnies does a tremendous amount of work with people who are in trouble, and they may be whole families or women or older people who are actually in their homes but struggling and at risk of losing their home and becoming homeless. And Vinnies gets in and does amazing stuff, whether it's paying for someone's electricity or taking whole families and making sure that they're warm and fed.
Really do forget how lucky we are. Whilst I was warm all night, sleeping on the hard concrete, even with some cardboard underneath you, really was not a pleasurable experience. Last night was a real amazing event to be part of. So I think it's given me a different perspective of what homelessness looks like as well. It isn't just those people that sleep rough. It is also individuals who are fleeing domestic violence situations, or who have lost their jobs, or people who have migrated to Australia. And it also is about families who are on the brink of, being one paycheck away from homelessness, or people who have worked their whole life and are now on the pension and cannot afford to pay for electricity. And how
what we all learned was, for many people, it doesn't take that much to move from being in a situation where you have stable housing to not. This year's focus has been about prevention, and we heard from a number of people who were so generous in telling their story about how the intervention through Vinnies services really made a difference and kept a roof over their head.
Huge thank you to everyone who has stepped up and been incredibly kind. And
thank you to everyone who supported me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Many thanks.
Thank you sincerely to everybody who donated. We really appreciate it.